Hey, everybody. Hopefully, you're all doing well. Getting through these lessons pretty quickly. Let's go back to the monitor here. And today we're on video number 6. We're going to talk about the Bollinger squeeze. Okay. What is the squeeze? The squeeze play is when things consolidate and it breaks out and goes in one direction or the other. Now, what I do with this strategy is between, now remember, I'm Pacific time, so you, whatever time zone you set, the times will be relative there, but this is written in Pacific zone times. 8:45 now. Remember, my other stuff is happening from 6:30 to about, I don't know, whatever, 8 o'clock, and I'm done. I go grab something to eat, come back. 8:45, this other window is starting. Okay. With the Bollinger squeeze from 8:45 to 1 p.m., what I'm looking for is a consolidation of what's happening. Now, what Bollinger does is it's got a band that'll be at the top. It's set by where the candle goes. The candle may go up, it'll push the band up. Okay, there'll be a band at the top and there'll be a band at the bottom. If it's moving really wide, it's not in a squeeze. Once it starts to consolidate and starts to get into a smaller range, that's when it's getting ready to actually break out. Now, do you know if it's going to break? Now, I mean, we don't know if it's going to break up or it's going to break down. Think of it like I think I used this analogy earlier. It's kind of like a ketchup tube, a little package of ketchup. If you step on it, it's gonna shoot either up or either left or right or up. It's gonna shoot in some direction. But what you know is it's not going to stay where it is. That's what this squeeze play is. I'm going to over here just go through this. This video won't be very long because it's not that hard to explain the concept. What I'm looking for is I take a universe of symbols. By universe, I mean a group of symbols, certain symbols that I'm watching. You can add more symbols in if you want to watch, whatever, some particular company, Apple, Nvidia, whatever, you can add those symbols in. And I'll show you how to do that in the application. But for this strategy, let's just discuss SPY. I like SPY, okay? Now, once the squeeze starts to happen, here, let's say it's going up, going down, it starts to level out and starting to consolidate. That means energy is building. And on that ketchup tube, your foot is over it, just getting ready to hit it. Okay. Now, when I say breakout, what it's going to do is it's going to actually, the ketchup is going to actually come out of the tube, but it's going to come out of the little package going at a speed that's twice as fast as what it was moving. What do I mean by twice as fast? The volume is going to be twice as high. That's how this strategy kicks off, okay? It starts moving, right? It's breaking out and it's going in some direction. Now, how do I determine the direction? Down here at number 3, the call, if the overall market is bullish, I think it's going to break out going up. If the market for that day is going up, the bias for that day in your key performance indicators within day trade, if they're showing that the market for that day is going up, it's probably going to break out and go up. If it's above VWAP, it's probably going to break out and go up. Okay. If it's below VWAP, the bias is down or the market is bearish, it's probably going to go down. Okay. So what do? Once you see the breakout start to happen and it's starting to move in a direction, your entry is going to be one candle after it starts to move. Okay. Now, after it starts to move, now remember this, say this to yourself. If it's already moving and you've missed a little bit of it at the beginning, that's okay. If it feels like you're a little bit late, that's okay, because you're not going to stay long enough for it to stop. There's this thing called FOMO, fear of missing out. If you think it's going to move and it doesn't, or it moves in the opposite direction, you got to hurry up and get out, or because you've jumped in too early. Wait until you have the confirmation. When you have the confirmation, jump in, use your same strategy. I'm using the 50-25 stop 2-to-1, a bracket order. Now, when I say a 50-25, I don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be 50% or 25% of the amount that you put in. If you put in $100, it doesn't have to be $25 down, and it doesn't have to be $50 up. You can put it in actual dollar amount. You can say, if I lose $10 before I make $20, take me out of the trade. I just picked wrong. So no problem. The thing is that you want to keep that 2-to-1 risk to reward relationship. That way, remember, you only have to be correct 33% of the time to break even, because you're getting twice the amount when you win as when you lose. You're going to have losers. It's going to happen. But you've put things in your favor and you're moving in that direction. Now, momentum symbol also qualifies as a momentum watch into, yeah. Oh, well, in the squeeze, you're going to see momentum plays. There's another strategy there that says momentum. Now, in the Bollinger universe, the stock symbols that I'm actually watching, it's not just SPY, it's some other ones in there. But in that universe, what I do is, if I saw a momentum play, something that hit my momentum charts earlier, I also automatically throw those into this Bollinger watch. So you'll see little bars going across, and it'll show, hey, where is it in that level? It adds the momentum qualified items for that day into the Bollinger Squeeze universe of stocks for that strategy. Okay, let me show you really quickly what I mean by that. Let's go over here and see if I can grab this guy. Okay, I want to close these and go in here. Okay, you see these symbols here? I put these symbols in. You can get rid of them just by hitting the X and whatever, get them out of there. I usually leave SPY in all the time. They'll come back the next day if you get rid of them, okay? See down here where it says momentum, TGE? In my momentum watch for that day, TGE was one of those items that qualified with this criteria that I have here, okay? It qualified there. So what I did was, I find that those become interesting later on in the day if they also go into a squeeze, because they seem to break out, and when they break out hard. You can make some money on them. Okay, so I just added those in. So what this is going to do, the universe for the Bollinger Squeeze right now is all of these symbols and this one. Okay, if you have some other symbol that you want to add in, if you want to add in, what do I got? Apple, I don't know, what's another one that we want to add in? Let's add in, we don't have QQQ there. So if I add in QQQ, click add, okay. Now it becomes part of the universe for this watch. And what it'll do is, just below this, again, right now the market is closed. We're going to go through each one of these when the market is open so that you can see all of these, okay? There'll be a banner up here at the top. It says the market is closed. This window is from 8:45. So this one, the FNWU, is from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So this is going to close after 8 o'clock. You'll get a little message up here that says, hey, this is going to close. Forget about that for now. This is going to open at 8:45. okay, or 8 o'clock or whatever time I have in there. I can't remember exactly, but it's going to open at that time at 8:45. What I do is then start watching this strategy. If you want to still see it, you can click this little button up here and that'll keep it open, because otherwise it's going to continue to close this little window up here, because we're not doing that strategy anymore. We've passed that window for the day by the time we're doing Bollinger squeezes. Okay, so that is how that works. Let's go over here and take a look at the next slide and see what do we have here. Okay, now again, for this strategy, just use SPY until you become comfortable with it. The range that I'm talking about for what I call a squeeze, again, I did my little back testing and stuff and added those into these strategies. So when SPY is at 8%, that's when it qualifies as being in a squeeze to me. Okay, now the QQ, I've got a few of the others here. Gold is really odd. I don't gold is something that moves based on human emotion and stuff like that. So you can't really, I haven't found a way to apply numbers and conditions to it, but it's still there just so that you can look at it. These guys down here, look up those symbols and you can see what they are. Each one is a little bit different. If it's not one of these symbols, these are the squeeze percentages that I apply to those. Everything other than that, I just consider it 5% because there's too many stocks out there to try and create a range for every single one in the application. Okay, so that's where we are with the Bollinger squeeze. I'm going to show you real quickly. We're at about 12 minutes here. So let me show you real quickly what a Bollinger squeeze looks like. Okay, see these bands here? That's the top range. That's the bottom range. Remember, I'm going to give you my ThinkorSwim layout, so you don't have to worry about creating all this. You'll have it. Okay, that's the Bollinger up there. Okay, what it's doing is it's starting to see how they start when this band starts to get closer to that band. See if I can find, like right here, that's kind of starting to get into a squeeze, and it's going to break out. Here it broke out and went down. Let's go over here, and it's starting to squeeze here. I don't know what it's going to break out. This on this chart, just so you know, this gray area over here, this is in the overnight. Like 1 o'clock is when the market closes Pacific time. So you get like another 15 minutes for SPY, but it usually in the overnight, I don't know why it's like that. You can't trade, and if you're just a retail trader like me, you can't really trade in the overnight because the market's closed. But this thing is still moving, so somebody's buying and selling stuff. They're I don't know. That's the rich folks area. You get to trade for 8 hours, and they get to trade for 24. So no, it's not fair. What you gonna do? Complain about it, or just try to find your little edge and work with it? So just deal with it. You're going to work hard, twice as hard to get half as much. That's what we do. Okay. Alrighty. Those, we'll talk about these other indicators and all of this other stuff later. Right now, our next video is going to be on the daily routine. We'll go through that. We already talked about the pre-market prep, but on the daily routine, we'll talk about what I do every single day in the morning and go from there. Okay? All right. Take it easy. Bye.